Welcome back to the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind series. In this video, we're diving into wealth file number 1, where we uncover another key mindset that separates the rich from the rest. If you're serious about transforming your financial reality, make sure to watch till the end, hit the like button, and subscribe for more life-changing insights. Wealth file number 1. Rich people believe, I create my life. Poor people believe, life happens to me. If you want to create wealth, it is imperative that you believe that you are at the steering wheel of your life, especially your financial life. If you don't believe this, then you must inherently believe that you have little or no control over your life, and therefore you have little or no control over your financial success. That is not a rich attitude. Did you ever notice that it's usually poor people who spend a fortune playing the lottery? They actually believe their wealth is going to come from someone picking their name out of a hat. They spend Saturday night glued to the TV, excitedly watching the draw to see if wealth is going to land on them this week. Sure, everyone wants to win the lottery, and even rich people play for fun once in a while. But first, they don't spend half their paycheck on tickets, and second, winning the lotto is not their primary strategy for creating wealth. You have to believe that you are the one who creates your success, that you are the one who creates your mediocrity, and that you are the one creating your struggle around money and success. Consciously or unconsciously, it's still you. Instead of taking responsibility for what's going on in their lives, poor people choose to play the role of the victim. A victim's predominant thought is often poor me. So presto, by virtue of the law of intention, that's literally what victims get. They get to be poor. Notice that I said they play the role of victim. I didn't say they are victims. I don't believe anyone is a victim. I believe people play the victim because they think it gets them something. We'll discuss this in more detail shortly. That said, how can you tell when people are playing the victim? They leave 3 obvious clues. Now, before we talk about these clues, I want you to realize that I fully understand that none of these ways of being has anything to do with anyone reading this book. But maybe, just maybe, you might know someone who can relate. And maybe, just maybe, you might know that person intimately. Either way, I suggest you pay close attention to this section. Victim clue number 1, blame. When it comes to why they're not rich, most victims are professionals at the blame game. The object of this game is to see how many people and circumstances you can point the finger at without ever looking at yourself. It's fun for victims at least. Unfortunately, it's not such a blast for anyone else who is unlucky enough to be around them. That's because those in close proximity to victims become easy targets. Victims blame the economy. They blame the government. They blame the stock market. They blame their broker. They blame their type of business. They blame their employer. They blame their employees. They blame their manager. They blame the head office. They blame their upline or their downline. They blame customer service. They blame the shipping department. They blame their partner. They blame their spouse. They blame God. And of course, they always blame their parents. It's always someone else or something else that is to blame. The problem is anything or anyone but them. Victim clue number 2, justifying. If victims aren't blaming, you'll often find them justifying or rationalizing their situation by saying something like, money's not really important. Let me ask you this question. If you said that your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner or your friend weren't all that important, would any of them be around for long? I don't think so, and neither would money. At my live seminars, some participants always come up to me and say, you know, Harv, money's not really that important. I look them directly in the eyes and say, you're broke, right? They usually look down at their feet and meekly reply with something like, well, right now I'm having a few financial challenges, but I interrupt, no, it's not. Just right now. It's always. You've always been broke or close to it, yes or yes. At this point, they usually nod their head in agreement and woefully return to their seats, ready to listen and learn, as they finally realize what a disastrous effect this one belief has had on their lives. Of course they're broke. Would you have a motorcycle if it wasn't important to you? Of course not. Would you have a pet parrot if it wasn't important to you? Of course not. In the same way, if you don't think money is important, you simply won't have any. You can actually dazzle your friends with this insight. Imagine you're in a conversation with a friend who tells you, money's not important. Put your hand on your forehead and look up as though you were getting a message from the heavens, then exclaim, you're broke. To which your shocked friend will undoubtedly respond, how did you know? Then you stretch out your palm and you reply, what else do you want to know? That'll be $50, please. Let me put it bluntly. Anyone who says money isn't important doesn't have any. Rich people understand the importance of money and the place it has in our society. On the other hand, poor people validate their financial ineptitude by using irrelevant comparisons. They'll argue, well, money isn't as important as love. Now, is that comparison dumb or what? What's more important, your arm or your leg? Maybe they're both important. Listen up, my friends. Money is extremely important in the areas in which it works, and extremely unimportant in the areas in which it doesn't. And although love may make the world go round, it sure doesn't pay for the building of any hospitals, churches, or homes. It also doesn't feed anybody. Wealth principle. Money is extremely important in the areas in which it works, and extremely unimportant in the areas in which it doesn't. Not convinced? Try paying your bills with love. Still not sure? Then pop on over to the bank and try depositing some love and see what happens. I'll save you the trouble. The teller will look at you as if you've just gone AWOL from the loony bin and scream only one word: security. No, rich people believe money is not important. And if I've failed to persuade you and you still somehow believe that money's not important, then I have only two words for you. You're broke, and you always will be until you eradicate that non-supportive file from your financial blueprint. Victim clue number 3, complaining. Complaining is the absolute worst possible thing you could do for your health or your wealth. The worst. Why? I'm a big believer in the universal law that states, what you focus on expands. When you are complaining, what are you focusing on? What's right with your life or what's wrong with it? You are obviously focusing on what's wrong with it. And since what you focus on expands, you'll keep getting more of what's wrong. Many teachers in the personal development field talk about the law of attraction. It states that like attracts like, meaning that when you are complaining, you are actually attracting crap into your life. Wealth principle. When you are complaining, you become a living, breathing crap magnet. Have you ever noticed that complainers usually have a tough life? It seems that everything that could go wrong does go wrong for them. They say, of course I complain, look how crappy my life is. And now that you know better, you can explain to them, no, it's because you complain that your life is so crappy. Shut up and don't stand near me. Which brings us to another point. You have to make darn sure not to put yourself in the proximity of complainers. If you absolutely have to be nearby, make sure you bring a steel umbrella or the crap meant for them will get you too. I stay as far away from complainers as possible because negative energy is infectious. Plenty of people, however, love to hang out and listen to complainers. Why? It's simple. They're waiting for their turn. You think that's bad? Wait till you hear what happened to me. Here's some homework that I promise will change your life. For the next 7 days, I challenge you to not complain at all. Not just out loud, but in your head as well. But you have to do it for the full 7 days. Why? Because for the first few days, you may still have some residual crap coming to you from before. Unfortunately, crap doesn't travel at the speed of light. You know, it travels at the speed of crap, so it might take a while to clear out. I've given this challenge to thousands of people, and I'm blown away at how many of them have told me that this one teensy-weensy exercise has transformed their lives. I guarantee you'll be astonished at how amazing your life will be when you stop focusing on, and thereby stop attracting, crap into your life. If you've been a complainer, forget about attracting success for now. For most people, just getting to neutral would be a great start. Blame, justification, and complaining are like pills. They are nothing more than stress reducers. They alleviate the stress of failure. Think about it. If a person weren't failing in some way, shape, or form, would he or she need to blame, justify, or complain? The obvious answer is no. From now on, as you hear yourself disastrously blaming, justifying, or complaining, cease and desist immediately. Remind yourself that you are creating your life and that at every moment you will be attracting either success or crap into your life. It is imperative you choose your thoughts and words wisely. Now you're ready to hear one of the greatest secrets in the World, are you ready? Read this carefully. There is no such thing as a really rich victim. Did you get that? I'll say it again. There is no such thing as a really rich victim. Besides, who would listen? Tisk, TSK, I got a scratch in my yacht. To which almost anyone would respond, who gives a hoot? Wealth principle. There is no such thing as a really rich victim. Meanwhile, being a victim definitely has its rewards. What do people get out of being a victim? The answer is attention. Is attention important? You bet it is. In some form or another. It's what almost everyone lives for. And the reason people live for attention is that they've made a critical mistake. It is the same error that virtually all of us have made. We've confused attention with love. Believe me, it is virtually impossible to be truly happy and successful when you're constantly yearning for attention. Because if it's attention you want, you're at the mercy of others. You usually end up as a people pleaser begging for approval. Attention seeking is also a problem because people tend to do stupid things to get it. It is imperative to unhook attention and love for a number of reasons. First, you will be more successful. Second, you will be happier. And third, you can find true love in your life. For the most part, when people confuse love and attention, they don't love each other in the true spiritual sense of the word. They love each other largely from the place of their own ego, as in, I love what you do for me. Therefore, the relationship is really about the individual and not about the other person or at least the both of you. By disconnecting attention from love, you will be freed up to love another for who they are rather than what they do for you. Now, as I said, there is no such thing as a rich victim. So to stay a victim, attention seekers make darn sure they never get rich. It's time to decide. You can be a victim or you can be rich, but you can't be both. Listen up. Every time, and I mean every time, you blame, justify, or complain, you are slitting your financial throat. Sure, it would be nice to use a kinder and gentler metaphor, but forget it. I'm not interested in kind or gentle. Right now, I'm interested in helping you see exactly what the heck you're doing to yourself. Later, once you get rich, we can be kinder and gentler. How's that? It's time to take back your power and acknowledge that you create everything that is in your life and everything that is not in it. Realize that you create your wealth, your non-wealth, and every level in between. Declaration. Place your hand on your heart and say, I create the exact level of my financial success. Touch your head and say, I have a millionaire mind. Millionaire mind actions. 1. Every time you catch yourself blaming, justifying, or complaining, slide your index finger across your neck as a trigger to remind yourself that you are slitting your financial throat. Once again, even though this gesture may seem a little crude to do to yourself, it's no more crude than what you're doing to yourself by blaming, justifying, or complaining, and it will eventually work to alleviate these destructive habits. 2. Do a debrief. At the end of each day, write down one thing that went well and one thing that didn't. Then write the answer to the following question. How did I create each of these situations? If others were involved, ask yourself, what was my part in creating each of these situations? This exercise will keep you accountable for your life and make you aware of the strategies that are working for you and the strategies that are not. Special bonus. Go to www.millionairemindbook.com and click on free book bonuses to receive your free Millionaire Mind action reminders. Thanks for watching. Remember, wealth starts in the mind before it shows up in your bank account. If you found value in this chapter, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway, and don't forget to share it with someone who's ready to level up their financial life. See you in the next Wealth File.